No, this dude is fucking hilarious. You can catch him everywhere. He has a show coming out on the Big Left Comedy Network pretty soon, right? I
Yeah,
don't know if I'm
hopefully.
supposed to mention that. I don't know if
Oh,
maybe I just fucked up something right there. So
no.
my bad, y'all. Mike Eaton, y'all.
Hello, it's me. Oh, yo, it was so funny listening to you talk about like wanting to try acid and mushrooms. I booed microdosing because
Yeah.
that's silly. That's just like microdosing is like taking those drugs as like a supplement. Like if you want to take like a microdose of mushrooms, you don't feel the mushrooms. That's the point of it being a microdose. You're taking that so that you can get like a little bit of a brain boost. Like it's like, and if you take like a little bitty bit of acid, you should also probably know like a lot more about acid before you take a little bitty bit of it. I am a supporter of the macro dose, which is you just take a lot of that shit.
That's a
And
lot.
when it
Yeah, I
hits
was like,
you, yeah.
that's the opposite of micro. Mike, I don't know if you know that.
Mike is trying to see Jesus.
Yeah.
You just trying to get life over.
Yeah. Yeah, I've died a few times, but technically that's what DMT does. DMT is just like dying. You get to meet God for a little bit.
All right.
And I did that a couple hundred times from October to March of this year.
Did you say a couple hundred?
Yeah, it's fun.
So I've been listening to Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. He talks about DMT and stuff. And that don't seem like a drug that you're supposed to take a couple hundred times, Mike. I don't think...
It's not. It sure is.
First of all, anytime somebody goes, yeah, it's fun, don't do it. Anytime somebody pauses and goes, it's fun, I don't trust it. You didn't sound happy about it. You went down on it's fun. You're like, yeah, it's fun.
It's
fun is
a lot more than just fun.
It's not a that's a crescendo. You're supposed to go up to fun. Yeah. Like you're not supposed to.
See, the thing is, one time I did it and I was at like a festival in the middle of the desert in California where they pretend the world ended. And this was like last year before the world had ended. So it was just people practicing on accident. And I was out there and all I had with me were mushrooms and DMT. And so I ate the mushrooms the first night and then the mushrooms were wearing off. And I was like, well, I can't do this sober. Like, that's crazy. So I hit my DMT pen and I was looking out over like the skyline and like everything just got real fractally. And I was like, I don't think I can ever tell what's real again. And so like that went into my brain and I was like, what if I never know what's real again? Like, in Inception when the chick like tips over the top and then she's like, well, I'm in a dream forever. That was me with DMT at Wasteland Weekend. And so, it's
you just
fun.
said a DMT pen. You said a DMT pen? I didn't even know that existed. I thought you had to go somewhere. It's like the edge of the earth to get DMT. Like you just have a pen.
Yeah, they started doing that. So one of the things that happened is it got decriminalized in, which way do I go? It got decriminalized in Oakland. Like all of the substances got decriminalized there. And because of that, people now can be a little more ingenuity with their delivery process. So when you take, this is too much information, but when you take DMT and it comes from the ayahuasca plant, there's naturally an MAOI in there. And so it lasts for like 18 hours. But when you get it in the pen form, it's actually doesn't have the MAOI. So it's only like a 15-minute trip. So that's why I said a couple hundred times. I'm not doing like, 3-day fucking shaman journeys in Peru. I'm hitting a pen, closing my eyes, turning on dubstep, and then just talking to God for 10 minutes. And then I'm like right back. So I did it on a plane one time. I did it on a plane in the bathroom. Yeah, because it was like, fuck it. Infinity Isle High Club.
Damn. That seems terrifying. Like I wouldn't want to be high on a plane like ever. Like,
oh, it's fun.
What? No, I don't even really like being drunk on a plane because you're already not in control on a plane. Like that bitch shouldn't be up in the air. And then you're just like, fuck it. Let's go talk to Jesus before I go talk to Jesus. That's
I guess, I think that's like one of the things that people drastically underestimate about white privilege, but that's one of the things that shows up in my life is I feel so safe in every situation that I'm like trying to make it more dangerous. Like I'm on a plane where I can crash. I'm like, what if I do drugs here? So it's scary.
Mike's like, nah, I'm trying to quick walk through a blood neighborhood. Like that's what
Dude, I lived in a blood neighborhood in Dallas accidentally. And I found that out because I was talking to a cop one time and he looked at my address and he goes, "Oh, you own a gun, right?" I was like, "Oh, no, I don't." And he goes, "Well, you live in 5 Points and that's the heroin area. That's where all the Bloods move heroin." And I was like, I don't think that I can trust a white cop saying Bloods like that. I don't think he actually knows where they are. But then like maybe a week later, someone got murdered in my apartment complex. And on the building in red paint said Treetop Pyru, which was indeed the Blood gang that controlled that complex. So I was like, but also
anytime we can say indeed the Blood gang, that is a show for me.
Indeed, it was the Blood. Oh my God. Dude, when I grew up as like a super sheltered white kid that loved rap music. And so I would do graffiti in Microsoft Paint on my computer. And I, of course, did them for the Bloods and the Crips. But I spelled Crips Crypts, like the Crypt Keeper.
That is a quick fire way to get your ass beat.
Yeah. Well, if anyone that went to my school had known that was wrong, it would have been a totally different story.
You almost made me spit out some good tequila here, man.
My bad. Oh, man. Dude, before we get into my story, I do have to make like a very important disclaimer. No one should ever do any of the stuff I say or do. It's not legal, safe, good. Even if this is funny to you, please don't. Just don't. Yeah.
Hey, I think that should just be on everything that you're a part of, Mike. Like that's...
Probably. I am a walking disclaimer. And so I just feel like, I got to say that because sometimes people hear stories that I say and they think that I'm advocating for other people to behave in such a way. And I'm absolutely not. I think I'm special and I'm the only one who should get to do these things. Shit. Well, so the story I want to tell is from earlier in the pandemic. It was in June. I was at a buddy's 30th birthday party, and that's where the bender started. I went down to stay at an Airbnb in San Diego, and with me, I brought 7 hits of acid, a gram of ketamine, 1.5 grams of moon rocks, which is Molly, for those of you not familiar, and then about 1 ounce of weed. And then we also had 2 handles of vodka that we poured into full watermelons, and then poured gelatin in there and made Jello watermelon slices of like super vodka slices. So that was what we were going into because we had an Airbnb for 3 days.
Wait, how long were you supposed to be there?
3 days. But it was 6 people, so it was like
that's enough for an army of people.
No, it's not. No,
it's literally an EDM concert worth of drugs.
Or Mike and 5 friends. But so we started there and we did that. And the problem, so one of the things I like to do when I do a lot of acid, when you take too much acid, that's where bad trips come from. Like regardless of what anybody tells you about bad trips are all about set and setting. If you're a happy place and you take too much acid, then like sometimes the trip can go south. But one of the ways you can combat that is by taking a bunch of Molly, the happiest drug in the world. So if you take that and you're just rolling your tits off while you're tripping, called a candy flip, it usually doesn't go bad. The problem is that Molly, MDMA, is methyl dioxymethamphetamine, which means that it is meth-based. So like, if you do too much of it, you start to get some psychoses. And psychoses feel a lot like a bad trip. And so what happened on this particular occasion is I had taken 3 gel tabs of acid and about 6, like 0.6 moon rocks. And I was just candy flipping which way do I go? Candy flipping my dick off. And and I'm looking out over the ocean in La Jolla and I'm just like, oh, fuck, I can see the waves melting. Like that's my brain not working anymore. So I was like, I should probably lay off of the hard drugs for a while and just switch to Xanax and booze. So, because like as long as you don't have any psychedelics in the mix, your brain can't go crazy.
No, Mike, you're wrong. Your brain can indeed go crazy. First of all, if you have nicknames for the types of trips that you're finna take, what did you call that? A kickflip? A fucking
Candy flip. Cake flip should be mine.
A candy flip? That's probably, you shouldn't be doing drugs anymore, Mike. That is, I've never once been like, hey, I'm finna get a fucking trick flip stall over here. Like that's
yeah, Tony Hawk's Pro Drugger too.
Oh my god. Mike's that nigga from high school. It's like, hey, if she doesn't come and you come inside of her, you can't have a baby. Y'all both gotta come to have a baby. That's what you gotta
do. or if you say, no, you just gotta do it. You gotta do it in a hot tub. She can't get pregnant in a hot tub.
As long as she's on top, the gravity keeps the sperm from making it to the egg, so you can't get her pregnant. Hey, I don't want to be on top anyways. That shit's hard.
Oh man, Mike, you were over here with the kick flips. Last time we got those for Christ. You talking about I don't know what flip. You kicking down the devil's door with these drugs, man. This is not...
What makes it even funnier is I don't know if people can see it who are listening, but Mike looks like exactly how he sounds. It's funny. Mike has a skater snapback and some type of I don't even know what this shirt is. I can't see it, but. Yeah, this nigga looks like he's done all the drugs.
He got fucking bleached hair too. Oh, and I'm covered in dumbass. I got a donut tattoo on my arm.
A donut. That's one of my favorite tattoos, though. I'm not even gonna lie. One of my friends has a tattoo that says "Yeah, boy," and that's one of my favorite tattoos. So, oh man. All right, let's get back to your fucking crazy ass. Your highs that got names to them. I don't even.
Yeah, so I'm in San Diego. My brain is falling apart, and I'm with a couple people that haven't done acid before, and so I'm like, oh no, I don't want to have a bad trip in front of them. So one of the things that fixes bad trips and like all of that is Xanax. But I don't really know anybody, and I'm like not in any state to contact find a Xanax dealer. It just so happened that a guy who had seen one of my shows randomly on Instagram and remembered that I liked Xanax, like lived in San Diego and had just commented on a picture I had taken of a bendy tree in La Jolla and was like, oh, are you in San Diego? And then messaged me and was like, I got the hookup. And so this random dude just comes and brings me a pill and saves me. So I'm fine again. So then we get into the ketamine and because that's
if I barely made it out of my last trip, let's try to push the boundaries again.
Yeah. So I get into the ketamine with my friend and I was doing it and I forgot I pretended like I didn't know how to walk because I thought that'd be funny. And then I actually forgot how to walk. so I'm just stumbling around in the living room. I'm a big dude, so I'm knocking shit over and people are trying to help me. And I'm like, okay, stop. And then I sit down and I turned to my buddy and I said, it feels like skiing down an alpine mountain. He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I pretty much love this ketamine. So then I had to come to the next day I had to drive back to LA and fly to Texas because my mom's birthday was in a few days. And so I was flying to come see her. And anytime that I fly, I like to have a lot of fun with it. So I'll take some Xanax and drink a little bit because Xanax for me just shuts off the voice. It says, hey, don't do that. So and that's fun. So I get to the airport and I get past security and then I skipped to my gate. Like a full on, big jolly skip. And the guy's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't want to skip my flight. And he's like, I fucking hate you. Why? I'm at work. Why are you doing this to me? So I stop at the bar, have 6-7 drinks, and then I get on the plane. And I always sit in the exit row. And I'm sitting on the exit row. And the guy comes up and he's doing the safety thing. And he starts talking about the belt buckle. And I was like, hey, man, I don't really understand it unless you dance. He goes, what? I was like, you got to dance a little bit or I don't really get it. This poor fucking guy's like, in the event of an emergency, please place the oxygen over yourself.
He starts doing a TikTok dance.
So like, oh, this is fucking incredible. And so, then I'm, having some drinks. I'm talking with the flight attendant. And then I decide I want to go smoke my electric bong in the bathroom. So I take that in the bathroom. And I have this video of me, which is so stupid. It's so many felonies. And I'm smoking my electric bong in the bathroom. And I'm walking back to my seat. And I go to put it under my seat. And the top half of it falls off. and it rolls under the seat in front of me. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I like have to talk to these people like, hey, something fell under you. And they're like, what is it? I'm like, toy. They're looking because I look like a grown-ass child that would have a toy. And so then they hand me this big glass sticky weed smell thing. And they're like, here's your toy.
Like I said, it's a pocket pussy. It's a pocket pussy. Don't.
It's a gun. It's a gun. I'll be honest. It's a gun.
It's a bomb. I'm Al Qaeda. I just shaved my beard. You know.
Right. You know what's funny? I also thought it was funny because the dude you made dance to do the whole like presentation. Knowing him, he's probably just as high as you, and he's probably like, "What the fuck? Yeah, you gotta dance." He's like, "Huh? You gotta dance?" He's like, "Oh my god, I didn't sign up for this today." Yeah.
I'm for sure Jedi
He's high as fuck for sure.
Had to dance. He's like, "Oh man,
he's high as fuck for sure." There's no chance that a sober person goes, "All right, I'll dance."
Right? Oh my god.
So I get back to my seat and I put the bong away, and then I have a connection in Phoenix. And so I go to the bar at Phoenix to keep the party going, pop another Xanax, and then I run into the couple from the seats in front of me that I dropped the bong in front of at the bar. And I'm like, let me buy you guys a drink. I feel so bad. And the guy's like, were you smoking weed? I was like, yeah, I was. And he's like, it smelled like weed. I was like, yeah, I can't believe I didn't get caught. He's like, yeah, us either. And so then we're talking and laughing about it. And I'm like, hey, if you guys ever want to check me out, I've got a bunch of comedy on Netflix, which I don't. I do not have that. I just like to say that when I'm really drunk. I just like to tell people I'm on Netflix. I think in my head, they'll go search my name on Netflix, and somebody working at Netflix will see Mike Eaton and be like, who's that? We should get that guy a special.
Holy crap. Holy shit. That's so funny. Can I steal that?
That's the dumbest lie to tell. Like, they have 5 hours to figure out whether or not you're lying.
Dude, I dropped that bomb. I told him I was on fucking Netflix. I told him how to spell my name. And then I chugged my fucking drink and I got out of there. And I had like 10 minutes and I went and got on my flight to Austin. So I go to fucking Austin. So remember, I'd taken all the Xanax and it's really started to get to me. And I'm pretty fucking drunk. And I get there and I remember, I needed to rent a car. So I get off the plane, I go to the rental car counters, and I just go, give me your fanciest car. And this dude at Alamo is like, I got a Camaro. I'm like, all right, bet. So I go and I rent the Camaro. I always get full coverage because I'm me. So I get full coverage in the Camaro and I go to drive to downtown and I hit a curb and blow out the tire. Because, all the drugs. And so I called Alamo and I was like, hey, I got a flat tire. And they're like, sir, we're so sorry you have full coverage. We're going to send, the only replacement car we have is a Challenger. Is that all right? So Alamo sends a Challenger to me and then comes and tows the Camaro. I take the Challenger down to 6th Street and I parked down there. And then I walked into a tattoo parlor and I got smiley faces tattooed on my thumbs. In the middle of a pandemic, where you have to wash your hands constantly. So as you can see, they didn't fucking stick. The smiley faces didn't stay. If I put them together, they kind of make most of a smiley face. So I got those. I'm drunk as shit. And then I walk out of the tattoo parlor with my thumbs all stinging. And I'm walking down Dirty Six to try and find some people to hang out with. And I hear someone go, Mike. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. And I turn around and it's the fucking couple from the bar in Phoenix. Oh, and they're like, shit. Hey, we thought we saw you. You said you're on Netflix and we kept searching your name. We couldn't find you anywhere. Are you sure you're on Netflix? I was like, yeah. Did you spell my last name right? It's Birbiglia. B-I-R. It's just fucking Dipset. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I don't do Xanax anymore, but that's a night that happened.
Holy shit, Mike, we got to party together. We got to party together. I'm trying to get to this level.
Let's go. I'm down.
For y'all that like black people, all this, The story did two different things. For St. James, it made him go, I got to party with this guy. For me, it made me go, I'm never being in the same room as Mike alone. Like, like, I can't trust you, Mike. You got all these, you brought drugs onto an airplane. Oh, which I've done that. I'm not going to lie. I brought some weed onto an airplane, but never a fucking whole bong, Mike. A bong, bro? Like a bong. You brought a whole fucking bong onto the airplane. That is the whitest privilege that ever existed.
Oh, you want to hear the whitest privilege? Oh, no, go ahead, St. James.
I'm glad you said it, Brendan, because when he was like, we're surprised you didn't get caught. I was like, yeah, because it was a nigga. They were like, yeah, we're surprised we didn't tell on you. That's why.
We're surprised you made it to the cops that we called earlier.
We're surprised you didn't get shot.
So close to the front of the plane. We just we planted our drugs on you because you were that close to us.
So, like the ultimate of white privilege. I was traveling through Utah in the pandemic, and I always bring that same bong with me everywhere. It doesn't look like a traditional bong. It looks kind of like a lava lamp, and it's an electric bong called a Puffco. If any of y'all want to Google it, but so I had my Puffco with me, and I always leave it in my cup holder in my car. And I'm driving through fucking rural ass Utah in my fucking little tiny red Prius, and I get pulled over by the state trooper. He goes, you know why I'm pulling you over? I was like, I have no idea. I was going speed limit for sure. And he goes, your windows are too dark. Like, what? He's like, the tint on your windows is too dark. Because in Utah, they don't even like dark windows. But like, it was so fucked. So the dude is like searching my car. And he goes, do you have any marijuana in the vehicle? I was like, no, officer, not at all. I would never do that. He goes, all right, well then why is there a bong in your cup holder? And I was like, oh, no, sir. That's not a bong. That's an essential oils diffuser. I'm from LA. It's got like lavender in it. And so I go to hold it up to him. He goes, like, don't get the gay on me. Like, freaked out. I fucking bong back in my cup holder. And he's like, all right, sir, where are you headed? And I'm like, I'm going to St. George. And he goes, when you get into town, there's a prime rib spot right up the strip. You got to go there. I was like, so you're giving me a warning and a dinner recommendation? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Cool.
Holy fuck. That's funny.
Yeah.